Hi, I'm the kinda old autistic lady. I was recently diagnosed earlier this month as being autistic after thinking my entire life that I was just kind of a weird non autistic. And I was thinking about what topics I wanted to do for this video because I wanted to make it lighthearted. I finally got some better sound equipment, which I'm super excited about. Already, I can tell it's going to be a lot better than what I had before. And so I was thinking about what I could talk about to add value today. And the topic of this video is going to be just a quick few points, and with, of course, a little commentary about hygiene tricks. Ever since I found out I was autistic, I've been really rethinking a lot lately what the rules are around everything in life, because there are a lot of things that I always assumed had to be done a certain way just because I had already always done them that way. And as it turns out, there's a lot of things that really don't have to be done a certain way and can be modified in order to best meet my needs. So, one of the first ones I want to talk about is, I'm not sure why I thought this, but my entire life, anytime I would take a shower in the morning, I would stand in the shower while the water was getting warm. Now, granted, I would try to get away from the direct path of the water because it would still be cold. But, I could never totally get away from it. My feet would be kind of cold in the water. And even if I wasn't in the water's direct line, a little bit would splash up and I would feel kind of cold. And of course, just always kind of feeling cold first thing in the morning if that's when I would shower. Just, all of a sudden, no clothes, right? But I was thinking about this the other day, and there really is no rule that says you have to stand in the shower while you're waiting for the water to get warm. In fact, there's not even a rule that says you have to be the one or I have to be the one to turn the shower on. I was thinking about, other appropriate household members who might make sense if this is something you struggle with, to turn the water on for you and kind of know where you like the temperature. Ours is a lever, and it's easy for me to just push the lever all the way to the side and let it get hot. And we don't keep our hot water heater hot enough that if I were to jump in at that point that I would get like burned or anything from the water. We also have one of those, the shower head is on like a hose, and then there's a bracket that it sits in. And so what I do is I just turn that. I have been recently, after discovering that all of this is not rules. All of this is not rules, are not rules. So I turn it so that the water is going directly at the shower wall. And then I just hop out of the shower for about a minute to a minute and a half. Usually I go do something else that needs to be done. Like if I have a pill I need to take in the morning, or if I want to start brushing my teeth, or, whatever it is, just as long as it won't take very long. And as it turns out, the shower is nice and toasty for me. Now, there's a lot of other things about the shower that I don't like from a sensory perspective that make me sometimes avoid it if I can. And I'll go through a couple of other little tips I was thinking about. But so that's the first one. And there's also a trick I picked up a few years ago that you might find helpful, especially if you've got longer hair. I don't know what anybody else calls these, but I call them hair spiders, where, you're washing your hair and you shed a little bit and then the hairs are kind of long. And if you get the soap out of it, and you rub your hands together, and you end up with like a kind of a ball of hair. And then really the only way to get it off of your hands is to touch it to something like the shower wall or the side of the tub or something like that, that of course you pick up after you're finished. But I have found that that's really one of the things that bothers me in the shower, because I feel like I have bugs on me or something. I mean, not only does it kind of look like a spider because it's got like a body and then there's like hairs coming from it, but it just has that kind of creepy crawly feeling to it to me. So I brush my hair before I ever get in the shower. And that means that a lot of the loose hair comes out when my hair is still dry. So that's another tip. The third tip, I don't know if it's so much a tip as just kind of a funny conversation I was having with my husband. So there are definitely days when I would prefer to take a bath rather than a shower, because the bath is a lot more soothing to me. There's not the abrasion of like water hitting me and, the feeling of like standing on a tile shower floor and all of that kind of stuff. The bath is a little bit more relaxing. So I don't do it most of the time, especially if I have to get up early for any reason, like to go to work or whatever. But what I've found myself doing lately is taking a bath, not getting up any earlier, but basically taking a plate in with me. Now, of course, the tub's clean, the bathroom's clean. I'm not saying this is unhygienic, okay? But taking a bagel or Pop Tarts, and bringing them into the bathroom with me and setting out an extra towel on the floor beside the bathtub and putting the plate of Pop Tarts or like bagel, toast, whatever it is. And once I get myself settled in the tub and everything, I've got an extra towel as well next to my breakfast. And once I'm all set and I'm in the water, but before I've touched gotten any soap or anything out, I maybe soak for a couple minutes. I take my hands and I dry them off really well with that towel. And then I have my breakfast in the bathtub. As it turns out, there's not a rule about that. If you're an adult, you're not getting in trouble for it as long as whoever else is in your household is letting you live an autonomous life and make your own choices and live with the consequences of your choices, right? Like, if some crumbs fall in the bathtub, who really cares? I mean, for me anyway, after I finish the bath, I still drain the water out of the tub and take a shower because washing my hair in the tub is kind of difficult for me. And so, if there's like some crumbs or something in the water, it's not like they're not going to get washed off. And, if there's crumbs, that might be an impetus to get to the shower part faster if that bothers you. I can't say that I've really had a lot of crumbs in there. But I was thinking the other day about what would happen because I'm kind of a klutz. It hasn't happened yet. But what would happen if I dropped my Pop Tarts in the tub? I don't know if Pop Tarts float. I was thinking, though, that if I did drop one in, if it does float, that I would have to, the next time, make a little experiment out of it. Maybe bring my husband along, not taking a bath, just now I need to do an experiment because the pursuit of knowledge is a thing that I'm very wired toward, as is he. And Pop-Tarts come two in a package, right? So why not just do the float test with one frosting side down and one frosting side up and see which one floats longer? And if they don't sink in any reasonable amount of time, knowing my husband and I, we would probably start weighting them down to see, so many grams of weight on each one, which would sink faster. Of course, haven't done this. Don't want to waste food. I'm not condoning wasting food, but if I drop the Pop-Tart in the water, if it ever happens, if I ever decide to eat in the bathtub, the world is not going to come crashing down on me. I'm starting to realize this about some of the things that I really had some hangups about with trying to figure out what works best for me in different situations. So, how about you? I'm really curious to know what other people use as sort of ways to make the whole shower or bath experience a little bit less of a sensory hell. So, write me a comment, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I look forward to our next video. Thanks for watching.